Senator McKenzie.
Thank you, Mr President. My question is to the Minister representing the Minister for Climate Change and Energy Efficiency, Senator Wong. I refer the Minister to the $200 million regional structural assistance package for affected regions under the Gillard Labor government's carbon tax. Can the Minister confirm what modelling has been undertaken by the government to ensure that the $200 million allocated to the assistance package will be enough to assist all regions and communities affected by the negative impact of this carbon tax?
The Minister representing the Minister for Climate Change and Energy Efficiency, Senator Wong.
Thank you, Mr President. I thank the Senator for her question. It deals to a great extent with the same issues that her colleague asked previously. As I've explained, the government has put in place a very significant set of assistance whereby 9 out of 10 households will receive some assistance through tax cuts or payment increases. About 2 out of 3 households will get payments or tax cuts that cover their entire average impact, and about 4 million households will get an extra buffer with assistance that is at least 20% more than the average price impact. In addition, there are a range of benefits and opportunities for regional Australia under the package. The Carbon Farming Initiative will enable farmers to benefit. Obviously, the carbon price does not apply to agricultural emissions, but there are opportunities through the Carbon Farming Initiative. We are also investing, as the Senate would know, to unlock the potential of clean energy in our regions, in solar, in wind, in geothermal, all investments that are about jobs, clean energy jobs. In addition, there are some $4.3 billion of investments in regional Australia in the 2011-12 budget. Let's just pause for a minute to recognise that. $4.3 billion investments in regional Australia.
Senator Wong, Senator McKenzie.
Thank you, Mr President. Just a point of order on relevance. I specifically asked about the regional structural assistance package. It's on page 59 of the Securing a Clean Energy Future, and I wanted to ask about, excuse me, Senator Carr, the modelling that had been done to ensure the $200 million was going to be enough to cover those regions that are acutely affected by the carbon tax.
There's no point of order. I believe the Minister is answering the question. The Minister still has 42 seconds remaining to address the question. The Minister.
Well, it is a little embarrassing, isn't it, because there's so much assistance to regional Australia that this government is providing. They don't want to hear about the budget and the investments in hospitals and schools in regional Australia. I thought you represented regional Australia, Senator. Don't you want to hear about the investments there? Because you want to just ignore them. You want to ignore them. You want to pretend that this is a carbon price that has been put in it without regard whatsoever to over $4 billion being invested in regional Australia, funding that you never could get, Senator Joyce. You could never get, Senator Joyce. I don't know whether you've got something wrong with your neck there, but this is a very strange movement. But you could never get that. You could never get that when you were in government for your constituents.
Order. Order. Senator McKenzie.
Thank you, Mr President. I have a supplementary. Can the Minister outline the criteria that would define those regions that have experienced, and I quote, the acute impact as a result of Labor's carbon tax, the criteria? And given the impact of the carbon tax on the dairy industry, for example, will those regions reliant on that industry be able to access this assistance and this package?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr President. There is a $200 million structural adjustment assistance that is available, as the Senator says, to support regions that remain strongly affected by the carbon price. This is over and above the very significant assistance that I was going through earlier. I understand this is to be delivered, I think, by Mr Crean, but I'll check that that is the case and come back to the Senate if that is not correct. I will provide more information. Obviously, the bills were passed today, Senator, so I'm not sure we would have done guidelines on funding in the last hour and a half or couple of hours, but I'll certainly come back to the Senator if there is.
Order. Senator, ignore the interjections. They're disorderly. All you need to do is address the question that has been asked.
I can understand why the Liberal Party
Minister.
is so embarrassed by the National Party.
The Minister.
Really, it's been a
Continue.
very uninspiring contribution in this whole debate. Really,
Minister,
I will come
continue.
back to the Senate and to the Senator if there is further information in relation to the guidelines subsequently.
Senator McKenzie.
Thank you, Minister. How does the government plan to monitor the impact of its carbon tax on regional Australia so the assistance package that my questioning has been about can be provided directly to communities in regional Australia? Can the minister guarantee that no Australian who lives in the regions will be worse off as a result of the Gillard Labor government's carbon tax?
The Minister.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, I understand, and this will be a matter. Can I just indicate? I believe this will be a matter that Minister Crean will administer, but I'll confirm that again. And I understand, obviously, in the course of administering this program, there will be monitoring of regional impacts to identify those regions which may require assistance, in addition, if I may say, to the comprehensive assistance which is provided through the Jobs and Competitiveness packages and the Energy Security Fund. So there is a lot of assistance which is in place. I'm asked about guarantees, and what I'd say is this. The Senator is actually in a position to guarantee that she will impose a higher cost on the people who elect her. That's the position of the National Party and the Liberal Party. Their policy will in fact cost the people who elect them more. To achieve the same environmental outcome, you will have to tax people more, and you will have to take back tax cuts and pension increases that the government is funding through pricing pollution.